Hello and welcome into the Farmers Union pregame show. As always, I'm Ken Oda. Noah Grant is alongside. We're getting you ready for Tauros and Bobcats Day 2. Tauros with a pretty dominant win last night.
Yeah, dominant in a lot of senses, and I say this with all due respect. It was almost a flat hockey game because the Tauros were so effective at doing what they needed to do that there wasn't a lot of pushback from Bismarck. As we mentioned on the broadcast last night, I think if you're head coach Lane Sedevy for the Bobcats, you don't feel too good about watching the game film. That's one that maybe you kind of tuck away in the scrap pile and try to redeem yourself. I have no doubt this Bismarck Bobcats team will look a little bit better tonight. The question is, how good are these Tauros? Because they've been pretty good out of the gate, especially coming out of the holiday break, and they really showed it last night.
Tonight, the official midway point of the season, game 30 of 60. Tauros still sitting atop the division, but again, last night, final 4-2, but that second Bismarck goal came, I think, with less than a minute left in the game. Didn't matter much. In fact, Bismarck didn't even bother to pull their goalie after they scored it. They kept their goalie in for the final 30 seconds or so, and really there wasn't any aspect, I thought, of the Tauros game last night that you could really say needed work.
Yeah, certainly not. Maybe just little things here and there, just trying to create some more offensive opportunities around the blue paint. But all in all, again, this is a team in Bismarck that had put 5 or more goals up on you. The only other 2 times that you played, you held them to 2 goals. And like you said, the one I think Brady James would like to have back, the other was in garbage time, as you mentioned. So you have to feel good about that. You won the special teams battle last night, and a lot of really good signs coming out of the holiday break. Plus, let's not forget, if you're the Tauros, you now extend your divisional lead to 9 points in first place. So
yeah, Aberdeen gets another win over St. Cloud, which keeps third place St. Cloud from jumping Bismarck, which obviously that helps as well, keeps the Tauros pulling away from the division. In fact, let's just go ahead and skip down to the Tauros Tribune Central Division standings. Tauros now 45 points on the year, 22-6-1. This Bismarck team still a very good 18-11-0 with 36 points. St. Cloud with 35, a point behind them, but they've played 2 more games than everyone else in the division. Mm-hmm. Austin still holding on to that 4th and final playoff spot with 33 points, and then Aberdeen winners of 6 in a row, hot on Austin's heels.
Yeah, and you look at Aberdeen tightening that race, like you said, the separation of 3 points between 2nd and 5th place. Now, obviously, it's going to be an interesting ride in the middle of the division, of course, to see who gets that final playoff spot, as it usually is in this division. But similar to last year, there is a team that right now is starting to kind of pull away in first place. I just don't know at the beginning of the year if we would have thought that it would have been our Tauros who have a chance to do it again tonight and try to get back to 500 against these Bobcats.
Yeah, a win tonight of any kind pushes the lead to double digits on the Bobcats, and if Aberdeen beats St. Cloud and keeps them behind Bismarck, again, it would be double digits on the entire division. Let's take a look at the Noodles numbers, brought to you by our friends at Noodles & Company right here in Minot. Tauros offense now jumps ahead of Bismarck's 3.31 goals per game, 3.27 for Bismarck after only scoring 2 last night. Goals per game, 2.07 allowed for the Tauros, 2.79 for Bismarck, which is still anything under 3 is pretty good as well. Tauros power play sits just behind Bismarck's 12th and 9th in the rankings. But the Tauros, a huge part of the success this year, that penalty kill.
Yeah, certainly is. And when you have a team, again, we talked about this, where the Tauros, if they were going to have success last night, they had to stick with a defensive structure. They had to play to their strength, which is limiting opportunities in the middle of the ice, creating turnovers at the offensive blue line, not getting into this high-flying, high-scoring affair. It's more of a chess match that the Tauros like to win their hockey games in that sort of fashion. It was a chess match. And like I said, it maybe looked, at least to our eye, maybe just a little bit boring because of how textbook it was for the Tauros in their victory last night. Wouldn't be shocked to see a little bit more fireworks tonight. It got a little bit physical at the end of that hockey game, but right now, Minot starts off the weekend strong with a Friday win.
Let's take a look at the Tauros Tribune Live players to watch. You can watch the Tauros Tribune Live just about every other week on our socials, YouTube, Facebook. Mm-hmm. You can also check out previous episodes on our website, gotauros.com. It's worked the last 2 games. I'm going to stick with it. I'm going with Captain Trevor Stahoyak. Last night becomes the 2nd Tauro ever to have 100 career points. with 2 helpers last night. That puts him 1 behind Christian Mose for the all-time franchise lead.
Yeah, certainly been playing well. We alluded to it yesterday. Hopefully he can continue that trend, and hopefully in this building, like you mentioned, would be a really nice treat. For me, on the other side here, I'm going to go with John Small. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that my pick last night, Pavel Funtek, had 2 assists as well. Last time I picked John Small, he had a goal, so I'm hoping that he continues that trend, and hopefully, like you said, we don't have the broadcasters jinx. He had points last night as well too, and he's had points in consecutive games. He really is dynamic at setting people up in the playmaking side of things. Hopefully he can continue that trend against the Bobcats team that usually is pretty good defensively.
And something we haven't really done in the past, but I'm going to throw out an honorable mention. I thought he looked really good coming back from injury last night, Ian Spencer.
Yeah, I thought Ian Spencer did look really good, and we kind of talked about it on the broadcast. Didn't really see it in terms of the production side of things, but missing almost a month and then coming back and looking that good. You're trusted on the special teams side of things, at least on the penalty kill. I thought his effort level and his compete was really good.
Yeah, he had 1 really good penalty kill shift in the second period, I believe, where he kept the puck down at the other end of the ice for a good 10-15 seconds just with a good hard forecheck, which will bring us to our home key group keys to the game. And Noah, I'm starting easy. Just keep on doing what you're doing, right? Just keep on keeping on. The Tauros have been dominating games of late, outshooting opponents at least 2-1. It was 2-1 last night, 40-20. The North Iowa games were just ridiculous as far as shot totals, but Tauros right now playing 75-80% of the game in the offensive zone, and it makes it pretty easy to win games when you're spending that much time at the other end of the ice.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, I'm going to kind of go with a point along that, and the Tauros have done a good job with this year, is stay out of the box. When the Tauros are being successful, unlike teams of years past, they're not getting caught up in the extracurricular stuff. They're focused on what they have to do. They're not fazed by a whole lot. Part of that just comes into they engage when they have to engage, but they don't do anything beyond that. So for them to stay disciplined, don't give Bismarck any opportunity, as Bismarck does have a pretty good power play still in the Central Division. You feel pretty confident as long as you're the team that's earning the power play chances and not your opponent.
Yeah, the Tauros have been very good at top-ranked penalty kill, but a big part of that as well is they haven't had to kill a ton of penalties, right? So they've been good at keeping teams out of their rhythm, and then when they do get up a chance, Bismarck's power play last night, I think 2 of their power plays, they didn't even have a shot on goal during those power play chances. So a good, strong effort on special teams for the Tauros last night.
Yeah, it certainly was. And when you continue to kind of remedy that with the fact, too, that the Tauros transitional play, like I said, their opportunity to create turnovers in the offensive zone, they're limiting the transition for the Bobcats. Makes it very difficult, even at 5-on-5, let alone power play, for the Bobcats to establish zone time and good zone entries and establish that forecheck. You saw that last night.
And that'll bring us to our combo pick, and I'm going to go a little bit different with that, but you mentioned zone entries for the opposition. I think for the Tauros, it's the zone exits, right? It's been a huge part of their game. Makes it really hard to dump and chase against the Tauros when their defensemen are so good at getting back, getting the puck, and getting it going back up ice before the other team can chase it down.
Yeah, exit strategy, right? Your ability to continue to create opportunities starts from the back end. People don't realize that. They see the fancy rush that comes in 2-on-1. That all starts with a good defensive effort and a defenseman willing to get the puck up ice quickly. Forwards are able to be receptive and able to fill lanes and create opportunities.
That'll bring us to our Four Casino and Lodge Sportsbook over and unders. You can play along with these in the Tauros Hockey mobile app. Download it on Apple or Android. Get your guesses in. You could win a $200+ stay and play package from our friends at Four Bears Casino and Lodge. Noah, I'll let you play along. Total combined penalty minutes tonight. You referenced it earlier. Things started to get physical last night. Towards the end of the game, 16.5 penalty minutes combined.
I'm going to say with the over, because if you have one misconduct, signed, sealed, delivered. So
total Tauros shots on goal, 30.5.
Over. They've been consistently hitting that mark. In fact, I was waiting for 35.5 just to put a little challenge. This Tauros team, we alluded to it on the broadcast. You have to go back to Austin a couple months ago where they were under 30. I don't know if they've had a game since where they've been underneath that mark.
And then the big question tonight, total Trevor Stahowiak assists, 0.5. So not any point, specifically an assist. So will he get a helper to possibly tie Christian Mose or not?
Assists, not points.
Yeah.
Gosh. I don't like you. Anyway, I'm going to go with the over. I mean, he's been hot. He's looked good. He had 2 assists last night, of course. He had a couple of really good looks offensively. I wouldn't be shocked if he has a goal tonight as well, too. But I would say a point of any kind for sure. But as Ken would tell me, that's not the question. But I'm still going to go with the over because he's been hot.
Well, Caden Casey had a couple last night too. He's on a little bit of a heter. Emmons had a few before the break, so his line mates are clicking along, which will certainly help him out as well.
I mean, who isn't playing well at this point?
Very true. And last thing before we go, the McDonald's Tauros trivia question: how many Tauros have had 100 or more career points? If you were paying attention, we've answered this already in the show. Your choices are 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Or 7. Oh.
But that'll do it for the Farmers Union pregame show. Get your guesses into the Tauros Hockey mobile app. Play the other games as well. You can win all night long. But it's time to turn it over to Ben Lifto for tonight's introduction.